string of primary victories for Trump and Clinton Tuesday gave the candidates new momentum in their fight to win the Republican and Democratic nominations. Clinton defeated Bernie Sanders in 4 of 5 contests, including big wins in Pennsylvania and Maryland. Sanders won in Rhode Island.
Trump did even better, winning all 5 states and getting more votes than Ted Cruz and John Kasich combined. Trump picked up an estimated 105 delegates. Kasich collected just 5, and Cruz got only 1. Trump now has 949 delegates in the bank. He needs just 288 more to clinch the Republican nomination. We begin our primary coverage with Major Garrett at Trump Tower in Manhattan, where he covered Trump's victory speech. Major, good morning.
Good morning. Donald Trump won every county in every state last night. Ted Cruz is now mathematically eliminated from winning the GOP nomination on the first ballot. Not surprisingly, Trump said he has no intention of changing his off-the-cuff style and began to turn his attention toward the general election. Do you consider yourself the presumptive nominee?
I consider myself the presumptive nominee, absolutely.
Donald Trump called Tuesday the biggest night of his campaign and predicted he would win the GOP nomination on the first ballot. And even if he doesn't, he said he'll win anyway.
How do you pick a man on the second or third or fourth ballot who has millions of votes, 5-6 million votes less than Trump? Those people, at a minimum, they're going to be very upset, very angry, but at a minimum, they just...
Here's 2 pieces of good advice. Number 1, switch to Geico and you can save hundreds. Number 2, never tell your mother-in-law she can stay as long as she wants.
Well, tip the man.
Geico. Call or click today to see how much you could save.
Hillary Clinton's near sweep brings her 90% of the way to the Democratic nomination. She added an estimated 194 delegates to her total. Bernie Sanders picked up 129. Now, she needs another 245 delegates to clinch this nomination. Nancy Cordes is in Philadelphia, where Hillary Clinton spoke to her supporters after her big night last night. Nancy, good morning. Good morning, and here is the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer this morning. Clinton on the fast track to the nomination. She gave a very different kind of victory speech than what we have heard from her before, making an overt pitch to Sanders supporters, laying out essentially a laundry list of all the issues on which they agree.
There's much more that unites us than divides us.
Despite her overwhelming win, Clinton lavished praise on her opponent.
I applaud Senator Sanders and his millions of supporters for challenging us to get unaccountable money out of our politics. And I know together we will get that done.
To do it, Clinton will need his supporters in the fall. More than 1.2 million voted for him just yesterday.
We all agree that wages are too low and inequality is too high, that Wall Street can never again be allowed to threaten Main Street.
It's a challenging case to make, with Sanders vowing to stay in the race. Though, in a nod to mathematical reality last night, his campaign said its goal was simply to get to the convention with as many delegates as possible to fight for a progressive party platform.
This campaign is not just about electing a president. It is about transforming our nation.
But Clinton argued the party will need to come together soon to take on the other side.
The other day, Mr. Trump accused me of playing the, quote, woman card. Well, if fighting for women's health care and paid family leave and equal pay is playing the woman card, then deal me in.
There are a lot of Sanders supporters who are not quite ready to make the shift, and some who may never be. He brought a lot of non-traditional Democrats into the fold. You can find a lot of them on Twitter this morning, Charlie, using the hashtag Bernie or
Here's 2 pieces of good advice. Number 1, switch to Geico and you can save hundreds. Number 2, never tell your mother-in-law she can stay as long as she wants.
Well, tip the man.
Geico. Call or click today to see how much you could save.
A huge manhunt is underway this morning for whoever killed 8 members of an Ohio family in what authorities call pre-planned executions. Their bodies were found Friday at 4 separate crime scenes in the Pike County area. That's roughly an hour south of Columbus. David Begnaud talked with the 2 men leading the investigation. He's outside Piketon, Ohio, close to where some of the bodies were found. David, good morning.
Josh, good morning. Over the last 24 hours, crews have fanned out through wooded areas near the crime scenes. They are looking for possible evidence left behind by the killer, or killers in this case. In terms of a motive, investigators are exploring everything from revenge killing to gang involvement to possible drug activity. There were 3 marijuana grow operations found near the crime scenes, and the local sheriff here in Pike County says there could very well be more than one killer. What is it that opens the door to the possibility there may be more than one killer?
You have multiple crime scenes. You have 8 people in a family that were murdered. So is there a possibility one person may have came to one house, then to another, then to another, then to another? Yes. And then 10 or better miles away is another crime scene.
Pike County Sheriff Charles Reeder says he has never dealt with a mass killing like this. The victims were members of the Roden family. 7 adults and a 16-year-old young man. Authorities say some of the victims put up a fight, all of them shot in the head.
There's blood all over the house. Okay. My brother walks in the bedroom and looks like I beat the hell out of him.
19-year-old Hannah Roden was killed as she slept next to her 4-day-old infant. That baby and 2 other children were not shot.